right, we are continuing on with the data portion of our unit, remembering that our big idea is collecting, displaying, and analyzing data helps us to solve problems and understand the real world, make decisions and such. We've been talking about collecting data. Last day we talked about collecting data using surveys or questionnaires. Today we're going to talk about collecting data by conducting an experiment to collect that data and draw conclusions from that. So an experiment instead of a survey. So we have Jasper and Summer who wanted to answer this question. Does doubling the height of the ramp double the distance that the toy car travels? So they're going to conduct an experiment to find out with a toy car and a ramp. To find out, they let a toy car roll down a ramp from a height of 10 centimeters. They measured the distance the car traveled from the end of the ramp. Then they doubled the height of the ramp to 20 centimeters and then to 40 centimeters. Each time they did 3 trials for each height of the ramp to record the results. The reason they would do 3 trials would be in case there was, for some reason, one went really far or one went really short or ran into a crumb and the wheel stopped turning or whatever. By doing 3 trials, they get a pretty good idea of, on average, how far that vehicle is going to travel in that time period. All right, so here we see their ramp. Oops. Sorry about that. Here we see their ramp. And they are measuring the distance it's traveled from the end of the ramp. Here is their information that they collected. With the ramp height at 10 centimeters, it went 60 centimeters, 58 centimeters, and 61 centimeters. So 60 centimeters was pretty accurate. At 20 centimeters, it went 118, 120, 121. 120, kind of in the middle there, is pretty accurate. At 40 centimeters, it went 235, 241, and 238. So 238 is kind of right in the middle. The car traveled about 60 centimeters. And it appears to have approximately doubled when the height was doubled. And continued to do the same thing when that height was doubled once again. So they were able to conclude that doubling the height of the ramp doubles the distance of the toy car travels. This is their conclusion that they were able to draw from an experiment. And often data that's collected from experiments is used to answer some type of a question of some sort. All right, now you get to conduct some experiments. Our first experiment for today is going to be a practice one. How long does it take grade 6 students to write the alphabet backwards? Do we think it's about 30 to 44 seconds, 45 to 60 seconds, or more than 60 seconds? So just like we do in science experimental procedure, we start with a question, which we have. Okay. Then we have our hypothesis, our prediction based on what we think. So why also needs to be added. Just like in science, make your prediction, provide a reason for it. So when you make your hypothesis, it's I think because, same thing here. I think it will take 60 seconds because, and then give a reason. Then you need to move on to design the experiment. How are you going to design your experiment to check? Go through, what's your steps going to be? What's your procedure? Again, it's a scientific experiment, so you're going to need to write out your procedure. Next, you need to conduct the experiment and record the results. I would recommend using more than one trial, perhaps at least 2 trials, and then use your data to answer the question. And also, are there any other conclusions that you can make from the data? So go ahead and press pause, and you're going to pause for a bit with this one so that you can conduct the experiment with your partner. All right, at this point you are on to your concept practice, page 257, doing questions numbers 1, 2, and 4. You will be conducting experiments and collecting that data, and from that drawing conclusions. Remember, if you have questions along the way, that you ask.